What's up, Algebra 1 students? This is lesson 65. Our objective is, how do you write equations of lines parallel and perpendicular to a given line through a given point? So one thing we need to remember is our point slope form. Our point slope form is y minus y1 is equal to m times x minus x1. Remember, m we always use to represent the slope. I mean, not always, but a lot of times we use m to represent the slope. And then this y1 and this x1 come from a point, x1, y1. Okay? Two things we may have talked about already, I can't remember, but parallel lines have the exact same slope. So like if the slope of one line is 3, the slope of a line parallel to it would also be 3. And if they're perpendicular, then that means they're opposite reciprocal. So if the slope of one of them is 3, the other one is going to be negative 1/3. Remember, reciprocal, so like flip it over and change its sign. Or like 2/5 would be negative 5/2. Okay. So let's just look at these first few on your homework assignment, on your handout, is just simply find the slope. Notice it says find the slope, not in the equation, but just find the slope of a line parallel to each given line. So let's look at this equation. It's already in y equals mx plus b form, so this is the slope right here. So the slope of this line is negative 1/5. So I'm looking for the slope of a line parallel. That means it's going to be the same. So the slope of a new line, or the one parallel to it, is going to be negative 1/5. Same idea over here. Slope of this one is negative 4/3. Therefore, the slope of a new line, if I want it to be parallel, is going to be negative 4/3. On these, now it says find the slope. So again, we're just looking for the slope. It says of a line perpendicular now. So now we're talking about that upside down capital T, right? Lines that meet a 90-degree angle. So the slope of this line is right here, negative 7/3. That means the slope of a line perpendicular to that is going to be flip it over, 3/7, and change its sign. The first one's negative, so mine's going to be positive. Same idea with this one. Slope of this line is negative 1/4. So slope of my new line is going to be positive 4/1, but you wouldn't write it as 4/1, we just write it as 4. So let's try one of each of these, and then you can get started there on your homework. So it says, through this point, parallel to this line. So here's the slope of this line. So the m of this is negative 3/2. So m of new is going to be also negative 3/2. So here's my slope. This is my m. This is going to be my x1 and my y1. So plugging that into my equation, y minus y1 is equal to m times x minus x1. I'm going to say y minus 5 is equal to negative 3/2 times x minus a negative 4. Well, this part right here is the same thing as saying like plus 4. So I'm going to have y minus 5 is equal to negative 3/2 times x plus 4. Distributing this negative 3/2 to each of those, I'm going to have y minus 5 is equal to negative 3/2x. And then, thought bubble right here, negative 3/2 times 4/1. 2 goes into 2 one time, 2 goes into 4 two times. So it's going to come out to be negative 6. So this is going to be minus 6. Going to add 5 to both sides to solve for y. So I'll say y is equal to negative 3/2x minus 1. And this is going to be our slope-intercept form, because it's in y equals mx plus b, of the equation of the line described. Through this point, parallel to that one. Now let's do one that's perpendicular. They abbreviate it as perp It's not talking about perpetrators, but it's talking about perpendicular. So the slope of this line is -2/7. So the slope of the new is going to be negative reciprocal of that, or the opposite reciprocal, which is 7/2. So this is going to be my x1 and my y1. So plugging into this same equation here, I'm going to have y minus 4 is equal to 7/2 times x minus 2. Distribute this in. Y minus 4 is equal to 7/2x minus 7. Again, we'll go with thought bubble, I guess. 7/2 times 2/1. Those 2's reduce to 1. That just gives me 7. And since it's negative there, it's going to be -7. Then I will add 4. And I end up with y is equal to 7/2x minus 3. Alright, if you haven't seen that already, your homework is a worksheet. And notice I've done number 14, number 22, and I've also done 4 other from the first part of your homework there. So make sure that you get those ones right from here. So good luck.